This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
We will investigate and ensure you are held accountable for your actions.
This could fundamentally change the internet as we know it.
We already had flames through the roof of the office area of the Orthopedic Institute.
To the degree that a man is broken, he can experience wholeness.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. The National Weather Service has posted alerts for every county in New York and Pennsylvania. We're going to be 30 degrees below zero with the wind chill when you wake up on Saturday morning. Eric Bloodinger is an ER doctor.
You can suffer from frostbite within minutes of being outside with inadequate exposure.
Watches turn into full warnings tomorrow and they'll last through Sunday. Time is up. Governor Kathy Hochul has until midnight tomorrow to sign the Medical Aid in Dying Act. It will make New York the 13th state in the U.S. to legalize assisted suicide. Christina Fadden is with the New York Alliance Against Assisted Suicide.
This is going to be a complete culture change, a complete mindset change for patients, for providers, for the medical industry. No matter what they say, that they're going to keep it limited in scope and they have all these guardrails around it, it just changes the entire culture. And it's turning it into a culture of death.
Fadden says do not be deceived by the language of compassion.
The governor talks about this as being part of her belief in the rights for bodily autonomy. She equates that with reproductive rights, which we know she means abortion. So we need to not be fooled by the veneer of compassion that's put over this. It is not compassion. It is telling people that they can exit or should exit before God is ready for them to go. And that is sending a terrible message across the culture.
Final amendments were made in Albany yesterday, and now all that's left is the signature of Kathy Hochul. The Alliance follows this bill closely. You can keep an eye on their work at nosuicideny.org. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information in the Nancy Guthrie missing persons case. They just wrapped up a press conference in Arizona. Authorities say they made an arrest, but not of the person they think is responsible. It's someone allegedly behind an imposter ransom note.
To those imposters who are trying to take advantage and profit from this situation, we will investigate and ensure you are held accountable for your actions.
CBS's Andre Gutierrez says that the government is leveraging all technology to try to find the missing 84-year-old.
Google is assisting law enforcement with their investigation because Nancy Guthrie did have Nest cameras on the property.
Hundreds of people gathered inside a church in Tucson last night for a vigil to support the Guthrie family.
I do believe in the power of prayer.
We wanted to show the support that Tucson has for her in the community.
The Pima County Sheriff's Office said today they believe Guthrie is still alive. President Trump told NBC he hopes to push immigration crackdowns in 5 more cities across the country, but he did admit the operation in Minneapolis was a growth opportunity.
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough.
Trump is withdrawing 700 ICE agents from Minneapolis. The treaty binding the U.S. and Russia to limit deployment of the most dangerous nuclear weapons expired overnight. The good news is talks are about to take place.
The U.S. has announced that it's going to reestablish direct military-to-military talks with the Russians, which the U.S. halted just before Russia invaded Ukraine.
This time around, America wants China in on that peace treaty, too. Nuclear disarmament talks are set to get underway tomorrow in Oman between the U.S. and Iran. These are the first face-to-face talks since the 12-day war back in June that culminated with a massive bombing raid on Iran's 3 main nuclear sites. Jury selection resumes today in L.A. in a landmark social media trial. Companies like Meta and YouTube are accused of knowingly creating addictive content that harms children. Tech expert Oliver Roberts calls it one of the most controversial trials the country has seen in decades.
This could fundamentally change the internet as we know it, because if liability is placed on these companies could be forced to change their algorithms. They may be forced to change how notifications are delivered to users, and that's going to cut right into their business model. They make money off clicks because that's advertiser dollars that come in the door. So this could fundamentally change how social media operates as we know it.
Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, another Republican is out in the New York State Assembly. A word from the skiers stuck in a gondola in New York yesterday. An English-only driver's test could be coming to a DMV near you. Those stories after weather.
Hi, I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast for tonight. Across central and northeast Pennsylvania, clear to partly cloudy. Partly cloudy elsewhere, a little cloudier in western New York. Low temperatures 5 to 15. Tomorrow, some morning sunshine and cloudy with later day flurries. An inch or so near Lake Erie through the afternoon. High temps 20s to near 30. Flurries and a few snow squalls arrive Friday night, then Saturday bitterly cold. Occasional snow and blowing snow. Temperatures Saturday falling, in some cases to below zero. Morning wind chills Saturday between minus 15 and minus 30.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories where you live in New York and Pennsylvania. There was a shakeup today in the New York State Legislature. Here's Family Life's Mark Webster with details.
Yeah, State Assembly Minority Leader Will Barclay says he won't seek re-election and plans to step down as Republican Minority Leader in the coming days. The Syracuse native, first elected to the Assembly in 2002, represents the 120th district, covering the Oswego area. He became Minority Leader in 2020. His current Assembly term runs until the end of this year. Mark Webster, Family Life News.
First responders were called to a large fire at the Lehigh Valley Hospital in Dixon City, Pennsylvania last night.
When I arrived, we already had flames through the roof of the office area of the Orthopedic Institute.
It led to the rapid and massive relocation of 80 patients. No one was hurt, but no word yet on the cause. Pennsylvania lawmakers are proposing English-only driver's tests. The legislation was introduced by State Senators Doug Mastriano and Camara Bartolotta. They say it strengthens highway safety, ensuring those that take the test can actually read the signs on the road. The bill would also prohibit the use of interpreters or translators for assistance during the testing process. House Democrats are renewing their push for pot in Pennsylvania. They argue publicly owned and operated cannabis shops could generate more than $700 million a year in revenue for the Commonwealth. Critics say the money earned, though, is not worth the cost communities would pay.
When it comes to health care, when it comes to education, when it comes to law enforcement, when you increase access to these high potency products, you're going to have costs. It's a cost I don't want to see Pennsylvania pay.
Dan Bartkowiak with the Pennsylvania Family Institute is especially worried about the impact legal weed would have on kids.
There's been a lot of good intentions with these types of policies, but ultimately what we see is an industry that takes over and looks to promote and advertise these types of harmful products and appeal that to young children.
Democrats argue legalizing marijuana would lead to greater regulation and prevent minors from getting access to pot in Pennsylvania. And we've got an update on that ski lift failure at Gore Mountain yesterday in New York that left 70 people stranded in the air.
We were worried for the first 2 hours. We were a little sketched out because we were sitting on a gondola. We were going to drop. And then once everything was calm and collected, we were all okay. We were really just hanging out, getting ready to be rescued.
A DEC forest ranger climbed the lift towers, traveled along the cable, and then used ropes to lower people from the gondola to the ground. This skier was thankful.
We had to be careful we didn't bump into the side of the car, the gondola, but he lowered us down to the ground, and it was all very well done. I felt very secure through the whole thing.
It happened because of a mechanical issue. Next at 5, the Super Bowl is just 3 days away. And the question is, will you watch the NFL halftime show or Turning Point USA's All-American family-friendly halftime show? Let's break it down. This is Faith Under Fire. We take you straight to the front lines of religious battlegrounds. I'm news anchor Sarah Harnish. With me today, focus on the family's issues analyst, Zachary Medler. We're talking the Super Bowl. It is the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks this weekend. And while there's excitement about action on the field, there's controversy about content at the halftime show, watched by some 100 million people. This year, for the first time, Turning Point USA will be hosting its own halftime show. What do you think of what they're billing as an all-American halftime?
I honestly think this is a phenomenal idea. Competition is as American as apple pie and football. football. And for too long, there has been zero competition when it comes to the Super Bowl halftime show. The Super Bowl, their halftimes have only gotten worse. They're nearly unwatchable. I know for myself and for many others who like watching the Super Bowl, we find the halftime show generally something to absolutely stay away from. And there's so many parents who fear watching it because they have no idea what kind of content is going to come on. And TPUSA's halftime show especially, I think, is promising because it's going to feature American culture, freedom, and faith. And I think that that's going to be a great alternative to what the regular Super Bowl halftime show normally is.
The headline act at Levi's Stadium for the NFL game will feature Grammy-winning music artist Bad Bunny, who says that he's going to use the time to promote Latin queer icons.
Bad Bunny lives up to his name. You know, he's known for wearing the occasional dress, for supporting illegal immigration, and even promoting different LGBT causes. And I think for tens of millions of Americans who are Christians, who are conservatives, they have absolutely no interest in tuning into a performance of an individual who's going to likely use the time to support causes that are just the absolute antithesis of what so many conservative Christians support. Or do we want to tune into a performance of an organization founded by Charlie Kirk that's promising to provide a family-friendly alternative? So for me, that's kind of asking like whether I'd like to eat celery or steak. It's just not a hard choice in my mind.
Zach, why does it matter to stand up for the truth, even if you have to create an entire halftime show to do it?
I think of Scripture where it says, we are the light of the world, and a town built on a hill cannot be hidden. And that's our role as Christians in this culture, especially this Sunday. I think it provides a really great, really easy opportunity that all Americans can help participate in standing up for the truth, standing up for what is good by doing something very easy, and that's just turning the channel on Sunday.
Learn more at focusonthefamily.com. You can subscribe, listen to, and share Faith Under Fire and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
Imagine begging, not to receive, but to give. That's what Paul says about the Macedonians. Hi, I'm Rob West with a Faith and Finance Minute. In 2 Corinthians 8, 1-4, he says that in the midst of severe trial and extreme poverty, their joy overflowed in rich generosity. Paul says they gave according to their means and beyond their means, entirely on their own. And here's the detail that stops us. They were begging earnestly for the privilege of sharing in the support of the saints. They weren't pressured. They weren't guilted. They weren't looking to be generous. Grace had captured their hearts so completely that giving felt like a gift. That's the picture Scripture holds out for us. Not giving as obligation, but as a participation in God's work. Connect with a certified Kingdom advisor who's been trained to deliver financial advice that aligns with your Christian values by visiting our website, faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, a recap of the 74th Annual National Prayer Breakfast in Washington, D.C. today. We'll take you there after weather.
Hi, I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Sure, it's going to be a cold night tonight, and yes, it's going to snow a bit tomorrow, but really kids play compared to the weekend. An Arctic air mass, actually straight from Siberia, arrives with a front that'll bring a squall or two later Friday night, and then frigid air for the weekend with flurries and some areas of heavier lake snow south and southeast of Lake Ontario. Here are the details for tonight. Across central and northeast Pennsylvania, clear to partly cloudy. Partly cloudy elsewhere, a little cloudier in western New York. Low temperatures 5 to 15. Tomorrow, some morning sunshine and cloudy with later day flurries. Could be an inch or so near Lake Erie through the afternoon. High temps 20s to near 30. Flurries and a few snow squalls arrive Friday night, then Saturday bitterly cold with occasional snow and blowing snow. Temperatures Saturday falling, in some cases to below zero. Morning wind chills Saturday between minus 15 and minus 30.
Yeah, no thank you, Kevin. You can just take that one right back. Finally, at 5, the National Prayer Breakfast is a wrap in Washington, D.C. It's not often you can stand in front of the president and pray for the president. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Proverbs 21 says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and as the rivers of the water, he turns it wherever he wills." Father, turn his heart, lead him and guide him and protect him. Be with him, walk with him, and let us be an influence upon him.
The keynote address given by a humble governor from Tennessee by the name of Bill Lee. He shared the story of his wife's death.
I found my wife lifeless on the ground next to a horse. And that day, my life took a very dark turn.
He was left to raise their 4 children alone. Lee stood before the room and said it was his faith in Jesus Christ that pulled him out.
What happened to me, I would never want. But what was happening to me, I would never trade. To the degree that a man is broken, he can experience wholeness. Or the degree a man understands pain, he can feel real joy.
Governor Bill Lee using his pain to point people to the goodness of God. And that's the world that we live in for Friday, the 5th of February. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.